Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Now at 6:30, 5 dozen new charges against the man detectives say killed a 13-year-old girl. But murder is not one of those charges. What new court documents reveal about the death of Madeline Soto and the prime suspect in her death. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, Getting Results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. Well, we tell you all the time, thousands move to Central Florida every day. But now we've learned 250,000 have also moved out. We'll tell you where they went. Also, a boater struggles to swim for shore when a croc clamps down on his leg.
Well, right now I feel good because I'm alive after that situation, that experience that I have.
Why he feared a terrifying ordeal could have gotten even worse. That's coming up a little later.
But we start now at 6:30 with new details and questions about a deadly wrong-way crash that backed up I-4 for hours today. Starting with the morning rush, troopers say a Nissan Sentra crashed into a Jeep Wrangler after driving up the westbound I-4 off-ramp to Sand Lake Road. And as you can see from this map behind me, that's not far from new diverging diamond, meant to ease traffic congestion in that area. As News 6's Emily McLeod tells us, a trooper saw the crash and tried to stop it.
Florida Highway Patrol tells us a 21-year-old man from Orlando died in the crash and a 53-year-old woman from Orlando was seriously injured. Troopers say the crash is still under investigation, but we spoke to people who live in the area, and one person tells us they want to see more changes, but another person says they feel like drivers aren't paying enough attention. Lewis Cohen lives in the Orlando area. After hearing about Tuesday's deadly wrong-way crash, he says more needs to be done to keep people safe.
I think that Orlando should get maybe some police officers or something to, direct traffic at peak times, because the traffic here is absolutely horrendous.
It's important to note that we don't know what led the driver to drive the wrong way. According to Florida Highway Patrol, around 5:30 Tuesday morning, a trooper was on construction detail when they noticed a Nissan Sentra make a wrong-way turn onto the I-4 westbound Sand Lake Road exit ramp. This comes just a few days after the new diverging diamond traffic pattern opened in this area. The Florida Department of Transportation released a statement which reads in part, "Safety is FDOT's top priority. As with any new traffic pattern on projects, the department closely monitors traffic and drivers' reactions to the new changes to understand whether any changes or tweaks to conditions are necessary." FHP says the trooper tried to stop the driver by following them with their lights and sirens, but the driver of the Nissan ultimately crashed into a Jeep Wrangler using the exit ramp. The driver of the Nissan, a 21-year-old man, was killed.
I am surprised that somebody was coming, the wrong direction.
Veronica Hamer also lives in Orange County. She says when she drives through here, she's always extra careful.
Look in all mirrors. I'm a defensive driver, so when I come from one area of Orlando, mainly to where a lot of the tourists are, I pretty much pay close attention, looking, just being real alert.
Florida Highway Patrol also tells us we are still waiting on a toxicology report from the medical examiner. Now, troopers were out here until this afternoon, but the ramp has reopened. As soon as we get more details regarding this investigation, we'll be sure to bring them to you on air and online at clickorlando.com. For now, reporting in Orange County, I'm Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.
Our other top story, new developments and 60 new charges for the prime suspect in the murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Stephen Stearns has remained in jail on sex battery charges since Maddie's body was found on March 1st. So far, Stearns has not been charged with her death. News 6's Catherine Silver is digging into new details about the charges he does face.
As Stephen Stearns has sat here in the Osceola County Jail, Kissimmee police have been going through his phone where they first found those disturbing pictures and videos. So now there are 60 charges that have officially been filed by prosecutors. None of them are related to Maddie's death. That is most likely because first-degree murder cases have to be presented to a grand jury in Florida, and police tell us that they continue to go through every aspect of this complex case. From candle-lit vigils to memorials for hope and healing.
Like a hole is missing.
The Hunters Creek community has showed their support for Maddie Soto, a 13-year-old girl who authorities believe was murdered by her mother's boyfriend. New documents show Stephen Stearns is now facing 60 charges, among them sexual battery on a child and molestation. Detectives believe Stearns documented much of the abuse on his phone for years. It's that discovery that led deputies to arrest him before Maddie was found.
This is still an active and ongoing investigation.
Kissimmee police continue to investigate the timeline leading up to Maddie's death. The 13-year-old was reported missing in February. Stearns told law enforcement he dropped her off at school, but Sheriff John Mina says that never happened.
Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephen Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
A report from the Orange County Sheriff's Office shows Maddie's mother initially told deputies she saw her daughter getting ready for school that morning. Since then, they spotted Maddie on surveillance video with Stearns, found her backpack tossed in a dumpster, and then discovered her body in rural St. Cloud. Law enforcement says Stearns is the prime suspect. He's being held without bond at the jail. Here's what happens next. Stearns will be arraigned in April. That's a chance for him to formally hear the charges against him and enter a plea. In Osceola County, I'm Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
Well, right now I feel good because I'm alive after that situation, that experience that I have.
So that situation he's referring to was a crocodile attack in the Everglades. He said it lasted about 15 seconds, but he feared the reptile would attack again. The 68-year-old sailboat capsized Sunday evening. The crocodile clamped down on the man as he struggled to swim to shore.
I know that my leg was stuck, so I put my hands and see his mouth. I just tried to open his mouth, but I don't have the strength to open his mouth. He just opened the mouth and I can release my leg.
The National Park Service says it is working with U.S. and Florida Fish and Wildlife on what to do. The American crocodile is a federally threatened species.
Brightline says it'll soon be all aboard in Brevard County. Ever since plans for the high-speed link to Miami were announced, leaders started pushing for a stop on the Space Coast, and tonight that appears to finally be happening. Since last September, the private rail company has been speeding through Brevard, taking passengers to and from Orlando International all the way down to Miami. Now plans are in the works to add a stop and a brand new station in Cocoa, and we even know where that new station will be located, right at US 1 and the 528 Beach Line. From there, Port Canaveral is directly to the east. News 6's James Barbero asked how Cocoa finally made this happen.
This is going to be a boost to our economy. Our council recently allocated about $5 million towards the project, and we are going to work to get federal and state funding for this project as well.
And before Brightline, there actually was a train station right here on Rosa Jones. When I was working on a story back in 2019, I met a gentleman who was really hoping the station would be built here in his neighborhood.
It gives us an opportunity to expand in a low economic area. And I ask the county commissioners and all parties involved to reconsider.
What would the city say to some in the Diamond Square neighborhood who might be disappointed? They thought maybe a station there would uplift their neighborhood.
Anywhere in our community is going to be good for the entire city. So even though it's on the north end of our community, it's still bringing tourists to our area. It's boosting our economy regardless of the location.
All right, so Brightline's big announcement quickly became one of the top stories trending tonight on clickorlando.com. And Ginger, you featured our second trending story on the most recent edition of Florida's Fourth Estate.
You know, Justin, it comes from a fascinating USF professor who broke world records for the most time spent living underwater. This guy is incredible. Wow. And he is making a bold claim. The headline, Florida man says he discovered the fountain of youth underwater. Dr. Joseph Dituri told us during our podcast he hopes his research can help address health problems here on the surface. The man who calls himself Dr. Deep Sea claims his cells actually got younger after he wrapped up his 100-day mission. He was living in a 100-square-foot habitat 22 feet below the surface in Key Largo.
My extrinsic age was 44. Now I'm 56 now. All right.
Jeez.
My extrinsic age was 44. When I got out of the water, my extrinsic age was 34. Wow. So my telomeres lengthened. I actually got younger when I was underwater. And that's a known mechanism of action of hyperbaric medicine. And you don't have to go underwater to get that. You can just go to a hyperbaric center and get that. There are many, many papers that have come out that see cognitive enhancement in a declining age population, right? So we are trying to improve that cognitive ability in somebody's brain by going in the hyperbaric chamber. And yes, I had the same sort of results when I was underwater for a long period of time.
Yeah, we're calling him Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
He's going to go back down again. He's going to come up a teenager.
At least I don't have to go underwater for 100 days to get the same effects with the hyperbaric chambers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It seems easy to do. Okay, so you can read more about his research and his underwater journey at clickorlando.com/FFE, which stands for Florida Support the State.
All right, so our third trending story flips the script a little on my Boomtown reports. Last week, a U.S. Census report found more than 350,000 people moved to Central Florida from 2016 to 2020. That is more than the entire population of Orlando.
Wow. Okay.
So today's headline, during that same period of time, 270,000 people moved away from Central Florida. Again, 2016 to 2020. Not exactly the mad rush that we saw post-pandemic, but where did all those people go? ClickOrlando.com and News 6 digital producer Anthony Talcott broke down that data, and he is here now to break down where all of those people moved to.
Okay, and we're happy to announce that Anthony's going to be joining us regularly at 6:30, bringing us the best local stories that he digs up. And what you're talking about, so let's start with this unexpected exodus out of the area. And before you start, Anthony, I need to warn people about his voice. It's beautiful, and you're going to be enamored. Go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
Well, awesome intro. Thank you. So again, more people are moving here than leaving. I think we had about 1 million people move here back in 2022. So a mad rush of people is right, but a few years back doesn't really tell us about why these people are leaving. So I can tell you that the vast majority of those 270,000 folks simply moved to other areas here in the Sunshine State. So Orange is the biggest local county, no one's surprised, saw the most people moving out, more than 88,000 folks. Now, as to where else they moved, if we take a look over here, our digital team has actually put together these interactive maps inside my story on ClickOrlando.com. If you hover your mouse over any state to see how many people move there, you can see that on the map, Orange is the largest for the number of people that are leaving for places like Georgia, Texas, California, and North Carolina. Now, the numbers vary a little bit, but Georgia, North Carolina, and Texas are the most popular states in all of our local counties. Now, this is a map of people moving out of Seminole County, Colorado, New York, round out about the 5 top states there. And for people leaving Brevard County, Virginia and Arizona are popular places to move to, too.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, but Justin, Ginger, keep in mind, by far the most people moving out of one local county just moved to another corner of Central Florida. It's not usually a ton of people leaving the state, so. But 55,000 of those folks keeping it local. A lot of folks from Orange County are moving to places in Seminole, Osceola, and Lake counties. But how about you? We're putting it out to the viewers. So tonight's News 6 at 6:30 question of the day. Are you planning to move out of Central Florida? Or are you even thinking about it?
Nope.
Yeah, weigh in at clickorlando.com/react right now. Just click yes or no. Close to 200 of you have voted so far.
Okay.
So yeah, go make your voice heard at clickorlando.com/react. And if you have your phone handy, just open your camera app, scan the QR code you see right now on the screen, and the link will take you to the poll. We'll have the results tomorrow night right here at 6:30. Now, you can always find all of our top stories on the homepage of clickorlando.com. Ginger and Justin.
I just want you to read on, Anthony. Yeah. Great job, great voice, and we look forward to having you during the 6:30 newscast. You did a fantastic job. And you always dig up, if you see a story about a sea creature or something bizarre, that's Anthony Talcott digging that stuff up here in Central Florida.
That's what we thought it would be so awesome to have him, to go deeper into the stories that he produces himself, and fascinating stories all of them are, including this one. It's interesting to hear that a lot of people at the same time moving in are moving out, but I was looking, 2016 to 2020, yes, we did have a lot of people moving here, but I was in Lake County today.
Yeah.
We got plenty of places for folks who are moving here. The amount of homes being built is just astonishing.
That's why you're doing Boomtown. All right. Well, it's bound to be one of the next top trending stories on ClickOrlando.com. A push to save coral reefs that has Disney and SeaWorld joining forces with top researchers.
And that work is actually getting results.
Everybody needs to be working together to be able to accomplish this Herculean goal that we need to do to try to save coral reefs.
4 years after opening their doors, News 6 takes you back to the Florida Coral Rescue Center. We investigate how they are saving coral reefs from extinction up next. Tom.
Radar is dry again tonight, and we've got another beautiful day coming tomorrow, but there is rain in the extended forecast. I'll be right back to pinpoint that and the heat in minutes.
Plus, a spectacular sight in the sky, what it looked like from land as the Crew 7 astronauts splashed down in the Gulf.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30, live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Palm Coast, Lady Lake, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Now at 6:30, a milestone tonight in a race to save Florida's coral reef, an effort that has two theme park rivals actually joining forces with top researchers. Together, they are getting results. Florida's reefs draw tourists, provide homes for sea life, and they help protect the coastline from dangerous storm surge. But as we've been reporting for years, Florida's reefs are in danger of extinction.
Yeah, and that is partially due to climate change. We're investigating what's being done to reverse that in tonight's Forecasting Change. Eric Sandoval shows us how Disney, SeaWorld, and other groups are celebrating 4 years of getting results.
You're looking at a Key West sunrise. Okay, it's not Key West, but it is the closest that researchers here at the Florida Coral Rescue Center in Orlando could get to replicating what all of these coral are used to in the ocean.
Everybody needs to be working together to be able to accomplish this Herculean goal that we need to do to try to save coral reefs.
Dr. Andy Stamper has been here since the beginning.
They're incredibly important for Florida.
News 6 first introduced you to Disney's conservation science manager soon after the Coral Center first opened. Take a look at what the coral looked like then and see what they look like now.
Eric, looking in this tank, you can really see that the corals in the last 4 years since we've opened have really thrived. They've done an amazing job of growing. They're propagating, they're reproducing.
Which is what they're supposed to do.
Which is exactly what we wanted to see, yes.
SeaWorld's Justin Zimmerman says the coral have grown about 48% larger and faster than they would have in the ocean. He says they've also helped save an endangered species of coral. Because at sea, coral face 3 deadly threats: a bacterial infection called stony coral tissue disease, water polluted by humans, and rising ocean temperatures. You can see the red color in South Florida here. That is where the water temperature off Key Largo reached 101 degrees last summer.
With this swab, we'll run some bacterial cultures.
Dr. Claire Erlacher-Reed is the coral veterinarian here at the Rescue Center.
You can see the tissue, which is right there, in relation to the skeleton, which is right there.
She uses an ultrasound and tissue samples to make sure that these coral continue to thrive for another 4 years and longer.
That coral gets a clean bill of health.
So the work behind these doors is going to continue. Congress just approved new funding that's being divvied up as we speak. The Florida State Legislature approved even more. And now these scientists are hoping that they can save the coral reefs before it's too late. In Orlando, Eric Sandoval, Getting Results, News 6.
Don't you love seeing the life being put back into the coral reef, because it's so important?
That's the only thing helping me get through that story.
I know, it's
because
sad,
it is
right?
so sad to see that. It's tragic, and some of it is our fault, and some of it is,
well, the coral bleaching for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, thank you for that report, Eric. And the world's oceans are still showing us secrets.
The ocean's so huge. All right, scientists discovered scores of new sea life on a recent expedition in the South Pacific. So take a look at this. They uncovered what they think are more than 100 new species off the coast of New Zealand. A range of critters, from fish to snails to coral and sea cucumbers, were discovered, including, look at this, Justin, don't look away.
I don't want to.
It's being
Was that an intestine?
It's being called a sea pig. Oink.
What's really surprised me here is the fact that this extends to animals like fish. We think we've got 3 new species of fish.
This large specimen swam through the frame, had a little look at us, flashed its light organs once, and then disappeared off into the darkness. And that was a heart-stopping moment.
I mean, some of those things are so ugly, they're cute. Scientists also use sonar to help map the seafloor while taking some 6,000 images of animals in their natural habitat nearly 3 miles below the surface.
You know, sometimes we think about what's happening in space when look at all the crap that they find.
We know
underneath.
more about space than we do about sea.
Yeah, and speaking of space, a spectacular sight above the waves. This video shows SpaceX's Dragon Endurance spacecraft making a really beautiful re-entry back into Earth. Crew 7 looked like a shooting star from this cell phone video from Gulfport, Mississippi.
It was beautiful. We weren't able to see it here, though, in Central Florida. Crew 7 called out to Mission Control on their return early this morning. Minutes later, parachutes deployed while a retrieval ship watched from the Gulf of Mexico.
Gorgeous reflection on the ocean. Heard a really nice sonic boom, and we tracked Dragon all the way down to splashdown.
The splashdown happened off the coast of Pensacola because of weather conditions. The 4 members on board spent a little more than 6 months on board the International Space Station.
And there we can see Dragon Endurance now being lifted out of the water using those hydraulic lifts.
Crew 7 members were helped out of the capsule and checked out before returning to Houston. Crew 8 arrived to the ISS last week.
All right, welcome home to them, and beautiful weather that we had once again today. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells joins us now. Another nice day. We are warming up, though. We're going to be warming up big time this week.
Yeah, we're probably going to hit 90 again. We did it Saturday, and since then we haven't. But we'll get back close to that maybe by Friday. Definitely by Sunday. Take a look at what's happening right now in Central Florida. No rain on radar, although we could still use the showers to wash away some of this pollen we're dealing with. Live weather radar today has not provided any of those shower chances. All the rain activity is kind of going to have to hang on until probably Sunday into Monday before it changes. Last couple of hours on radar, not much happening. As I widen the view out there, is nothing happening. Nothing going on. Hey, St. Patrick's Day is coming up Sunday. Our official daytime high right now looks to be 89, but if we're going to hit 90, probably going to happen Saturday or Sunday as the next front approaches and all that whooshing starts to happen with the wind support from the southwest that could drive that temperature a little higher. Rain chances again on St. Patrick's Day are about 20%. Daytime high today was 80. 2 degrees above the norm. The overnight low this morning was 54, 1 degree below normal. Tonight's overnight low will not get that chilly. Here's Daytona Beach at news time. Temperature reading is 71. Right now at the port on the Launch Credit Union cam, 73. Temperatures where you are, 78 from Sanford to Kissimmee. Cooler in Brevard County and cooler up here Palm Coast at 72. 78 in Leesburg and 76 right now in Gainesville. Wind speed and direction. Well, everything was southerly for a while. Then the sea breezes kind of kicked in. Winds are going to be a player in our forecast for the rest of the work week. By Thursday, Friday, those wind gusts are going to be upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour. For now, the ridge of high pressure is in control, taking over and keeping all of this stuff back out here at bay. So as long as it's blocking that, things don't change. This high gives way the next 24 hours. That southerly flow. See all the red wind barbs from the south or the southwest? The heat pump is on. By the weekend, watch the front. There it is Friday. There it is Saturday. And then by Sunday night into Monday, it'll be knocking on the door. Overnight lows tonight, 50s and 60s in the city. Beautiful tonight, 61. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
62 degrees at 8 a.m. By noon tomorrow, 75, and the daytime high is 83. Come look at the week ahead. Your low tonight in Orlando is 61, 83 tomorrow, 87 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at least 89. And again, if we're going to hit 90, it's probably Sunday. Then on Monday, the front gets here, rain chances 50%, and cooler for the first day of spring on Tuesday.
All right, thank you, Tom. Disney's cruise line will soon set sail for an exclusive new destination.
Ahead on News 6 at 6:30, take a peek as construction wraps up on a new place imagineered just for cruise line guests bound for the Bahamas.
Tonight on ET, where is Princess Kate? After her Photoshop fail, are the royals making the controversy worse? Plus, Matthew Perry, who's getting the star's estate?
You don't want to miss it. That's tonight at 7. But stay right here because News 6 will be right back.
Coming up in the morning, keeping kids safe around the pool. That's right. The local county launching a new program to try and prevent more drownings and what you need to know if you want to be a part of it. We'll see you for News 6 mornings, 5 to 7. You got to watch before you go.
Time is running out to win $750 million. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is now $735 million.
And that makes it the 6th largest jackpot in game history. The winner can also pick up the lump sum prize that is just shy of $357 million before taxes. You have until 10 o'clock to buy the tickets. And don't forget, the only place to see the drawing is tonight. during News 6 at 11.
All right, so this isn't quite a giant jackpot, but it's still something. 7 of our lucky insiders will walk away with a News 6 swag bag. It's filled with goodies like a coffee mug, umbrella, fanny pack, and so much more. That fanny pack is key. You can enter every day to win. It's free to become an insider. Just head to clickorlando.com/insider, confirm your email, and then enter to win a swag bag. Disney Cruise Line is showing off work on a brand new island destination in the Bahamas.
Disney already takes guests to its popular private island, Castaway Cay. Since 2019, Imagineers have been transforming a corner of another island in the Bahamas. So today, Disney shared new images as construction winds down on a peninsula that they're calling Lighthouse Point. They're showing off its central destination, Lookout Cay. The colors, cabanas, and other elements were designed with the help of Bahamian artists, and musicians and artisans will share their talents and culture with cruise line guests. Disney ships will start docking at Lighthouse Point this June.
I think that's going to be a big hit.
I think so.
As all of them are. All right, thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. They'll see you back here tonight at 11. Take care.
See ya.